Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the viewers who have joined us live today from across the world. I'm Harshal Limay, founder and CEO of Marketing Doctor, a marketing automation platform for doctors. I started Marketing Doctor about 3 years ago, and since then, we have helped hundreds of doctors build and manage their brand online, both on the web and on social media. So I'm going to welcome you all to this first of the Masterclass series today. And today's topic, we're going to talk about social media marketing for doctors. There are 6 sections for today's masterclass, starting with an introduction, where we'll cover importance and benefits of social media for doctors, then establishing your presence on social media, developing a social media strategy, building and engaging your audience, advertising on social media, staying compliant with regulations. So, without further ado, let's just dig in. Just one thing before we begin, uh, I want to kind of take a poll in terms of who's attending today. So, if you can use your chat window and uh, write your name, where you're from, and what's your specialty. So, let's do that and then we'll begin. All right. Okay. So, in terms of timelines here, we are looking at a 90-minute masterclass today. Yeah, so there's a lot of material to cover. We'll try to go as fast as we can, but of course, we want to cover everything that we want to cover today. All right, let's look at the chat. All right, great, perfect. So let's section one. Let's start with introduction to social media, and of course, social media doesn't need any introduction. You you know that it's big. There are billions of people on social media. You are on social media. I'm on social media. Your patients are on social media. So I mean, really, it's that important that you need to be on social media. It's just too big. But I think let's just try to understand what is social media and what it means to you as a doctor. So the way I look at social media is basically nothing but branding. And I often tell this story to all my clients that imagine that you're driving on your daily route to the office or wherever you're going, and you see billboards on your way. So you look at them, some of them are good, the good ones catch your attention, but do you really stop what you're doing or where you're going? You don't, right? You just keep going where you're going. And social media is exactly like that, right? People are going on social media, on their phones, on Facebook, on Instagram, and they're just going and going and going and scrolling, right? That's what they're doing. So, really, the mindset of people when they are on social media is they just want to have some fun, right? Socialize, find out what your friends are doing, um, like their friends' pictures, find out anybody else they're following, the celebrities, what they're doing, and that's what they are, right? They're just going and going and going and socializing. Now, with this mindset, you want to remember that this is where you can tell them your story, your brand story, and so just to take an example, like let's just go to uh, this one, right? So this is a billboard example. And what does it say, right? It's saying that we have had like anniversaries, 84 of them, and we basically give do diamonds, right? And that's what it just sticks in your mind. So next time or whenever you're ready to kind of buy some jewelry, this brand will stick in your mind. So that's what it is, right? It's a social media is a necessary evil, if you want to call it. It's just unavoidable compulsion. You want to be there, and with this mindset, you want to kind of use social media for creating your brand. You want to be memorable, grab attention of your patients by telling them about you, telling them about your personality, and that's what it is. It's branding. So with this, let's take a poll, and my team here, Shruti, is going to try to set up a poll. So I want to know, everyone who's attending, do you use social media for your practice? And if yes, then is it working for you? Or, how is it working for you? Is it working great? It's not working? I'll just give you like 30 seconds to kind of answer this poll. Great. So while you're at that poll, now let's talk about, now you know that social media is branding. So let's talk about what does it mean and what are the benefits of social media for doctors. So number one is social media is an excellent way, and it's a free platform, really, right, to build your online presence. You can use it to create a personal brand, establish yourself as an expert in the medical field, and gain that credibility and recognition, right, with all these billions of people that are out there on social media. It gives you a platform to showcase your medical expertise and services. Social media can help you engage with patients, build relationships with them, or build relations with new patients. Continue your relationships with the existing patients, share information, health tips, and answer their questions. And this is just a way where you can increase visibility of your name or your brand and reach more patients. So that's what this is really, right? Uh, let's basically move on to the next one now, in terms of, now you understand that it's important and what the benefits of social media are. Now let's just move on to the next section, which is how do you establish your presence on social media. So there are two parts to it. Part number one is, um, you want to make sure that you are using the right platform for on social media. So there are many social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and every platform has a different mindset for the audience that is there on that platform, and there are different formats as well, right? There are different etiquettes, there are different rules that you need to follow. So the most important thing is you need to choose the right platform for your medical practice or your brand. And just to give some examples, um, let's say you want to address audience which is older. Yeah, you want to go on Facebook. Instagram is for the younger crowd. LinkedIn is for professionals. And YouTube in general is a search engine where you can basically showcase a lot of videos if you're into videos. So keep in mind that when selecting platforms, each platform has a different purpose. And to truly make an impact with social media posts, it's essential to craft your posts with the target audience and the purpose of each channel. So I see there are some plastic surgeons who are doing some cosmetic surgery in the audience today. And for plastic surgeons, you may want to focus on Instagram and YouTube, because these are like really visual platforms. Instagram is photos and videos, YouTube is videos, and that's how you can basically reach out to those audiences in the right fashion. Um, Now, let's take an example here. I want to show you some example uh, of a doctor, of a plastic surgeon in New Jersey. His name is Dr. Janjua, and let's look at his YouTube channel right here. So you can see that he is posting almost like every day, and he's posting a lot of videos um, of his patients and of the work that he's doing. And it's just plenty of videos, right? Plenty of videos. He has 42,000 subscribers, about 800 videos, and this is just awesome, right? I mean, the way he's doing it. Um, so that's good for YouTube. Now, let's look at LinkedIn, right? So there's another example that I'm going to pull here. This is Dr. Jayanti Ramindran, and she really uses LinkedIn really to connect in a professional manner. Now, some of you probably have attended the ISAPS research conference that just took place earlier this month, and now she was there. She was a speaker. She's talking about the conference. This is a great way to really connect with, uh, a network with other professionals in your field, and to really increase your branding. So that's a good example for LinkedIn. Uh, Again, I have more examples of Dr. Anjanjua. So same doctor here, who's a plastic surgeon in New Jersey. You can see that how he has taken this content, which is on YouTube, and repurposed it a little different on Instagram. So he's kind of still talking about his patients, a lot of photos, videos, but he's not really just cut paste copy those kind of content from YouTube over to Instagram. He's formatting it for Instagram so that it fits into that platform. And then same thing on Facebook. So Facebook obviously gives you a opportunity to write a little bit more in the captions, and it gives you opportunity to drive traffic from the Facebook post to your website. And this is how this doctor is kind of using this platform, right? As you can see here. Now let's look at something that is probably not so ideal. And I just wanted to kind of show you this. Now the copy here is awesome. As you can see, this talks about say goodbye to moles and hello to mole-free skin with a mole removal surgery. Our patients have been thrilled, blah blah blah, etc. It's a marketing copy, right? And this copy is good to go on an ad. But for LinkedIn, maybe this doctor could use the same example and try to kind of give more information on how their approach is, as they are kind of saying here. Our approach can help you achieve beautiful skin you've been dreaming of. So maybe you can talk about he could talk this doctor could talk more about the approach and give more information like that, right? So that is another example. um, One more example I can give you on LinkedIn is this is actually, hold on, this one. This is basically this is again, it is asking you to comment, and it's giving you some information about female infertility. So probably this is a gynecologist and a fertility expert. And again, this is another way of engaging with clients on these kind of platforms. Again, back to Jayanti Ravindran's post, she's talking about the trajectory when it comes to healthcare globally, and she's trying to give her opinion on it. Now, this kind of a thing with her photo, this kind of thing is a great kind of a post on LinkedIn again, where you're really trying to interact with professionals and the industry and stuff like that. So just to recap, if you look at all these four platforms, let me switch to that. Facebook, you know, Instagram, Facebook is good for reviews. You can get reviews or recommendations, as they're called, on Facebook. There's a messenger app, so you can interact with your patients using that app. And really, it's a more older demographic, but it gives you an opportunity to write more with longer captions. Instagram is photocentric, video centric, younger audiences. They don't have too much attention span, so shorter captions. Um, and something that is fun and entertaining is what is great to use for Instagram, right? YouTube, it's a popular search engine. So you want to showcase your expertise. There's a large audience. People are searching for things. So if you address their queries, like how can I treat my acne, or how to do this and how to do that, and then kind of tell them tips and showcase them what you can do to help them with their condition or whatever they're trying to suffer from. And LinkedIn again is for networking with professionals, sharing professional achievements and stuff like that, right? So that's these are the different platforms. So number one is, I think, again, as I said, is choosing the right platform, right? Let's just move on to a question here now. And I would like to ask the audience, what social media platforms are you using currently? I'll give you like another 20 seconds to write your answer. All right. I can see that things are coming in here. Awesome. So I'll let you do that. We will collect all the feedback as you're typing your answers here. But let's move on to the next part number two now. Here we're going to talk about creating how to create your professional profile. So first is part one was how to choose the right platform when you're establishing your social media presence. Part two is creating a professional profile, right? So there you want to make sure that you are, your profile, you're using a professional profile picture, header image, you're using your practice name, your website, contact details. All your profile is complete and professional and consistent with your brand. And then what services you're offering. So remember, when it comes to social media, no one likes a faceless band. So a brand, sorry. So don't be afraid to showcase or show your face and share some personal information as well on your profile. That helps people to connect with you, and that helps really make them become comfortable with you. So here's an example where this is an example where this Dr. Neeraj, I'm going to show the slide. Let me just show the slides. Yes. You can see here how this doctor has consistently branded their name and their practice on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. And, it's a professional picture with the scrubs on, and it just gives you a good image. So you don't have to do exactly what this person has done. You can make your unique style, whatever your style is, and try to project that um, for your audience. Perfect. All right, cool. So the next section is developing a social media strategy. So there are multiple parts when you are defining your strategy. Part number one is defining your goals, right? So you need to first define what your goals are. And your goals could be branding, it could be engagement, it could be lead generation, right? And so defining your goals is, uh, you know, an important step before you can put up any kind of strategy. Another question here from the team here. So, what are your goals for your social media activities? Okay, so I'll give you some time to fill that in. But so once you've identified your goals, now depending on your specialty, you want to identify who's your target audience. So, for example, let's say you're a pediatrician, your target audience is parents, right? Um, if you're a gynecologist, yeah, you're targeting women, young women, old women, all kinds of women, right? So, again, this is based on your specialty, your target audience is different. You got to remember that, and you need to identify who is that target audience. What is their age group? What is their gender? What do they do? What do they like? Stuff like that, right? So here's an example of what a pediatrician is doing, right, to connect with their audience. So you can see that. Just want to make sure, yeah, you can see that they're kind of trying to talk about parenting, and they're trying to show this empathy with parents, saying, yeah, it's a tough job being parents, but I know that you're not feeling. In fact, I'm pretty certain it's the opposite. It's kind of trying to really support the parents and connect with them. So that's a great example here of how you can do that. The next one here is an example of a gynecologist, and they are really straightforward trying to address this question, right? A lot of women, or some of the women, they just get anxious when they don't have their menstrual cycle, and especially when they're younger, they are worried that they don't want to get pregnant, etc. So that is how a gynecologist is connecting with women, right? So it's a great example here. So now the team has another poll for you. Yeah, we have a lot of questions and polls. I really encourage all of you to participate and tell us and share with us so that we can answer those questions in the end, obviously. But the next poll is: do you want? It's really, do you know how you're connecting with your target audience? And really, this question is: do you want tips on reaching your target audience? And yes, if you say yes, we will reach out to you on Monday, and we can connect and we can really help you with all these things. So that's great. So far we have covered two parts. Obviously, just to give a quick recap, we talked about the importance of social media and the benefits of social media for doctors, and we went over how to establish your presence in social media, right from choosing the right platform, and then how to create your professional profile. The third part was how to develop a social media strategy, which was more towards trying to identify your audience and defining your goals. So now let's move on to third part about the strategy here, which is content planning and creation, right? So in this, you want to make sure that you have content with some kind of a plan, because if you don't have a plan, then it's just going to be ad hoc, right? So you want to make sure what is that content that engages and resonates with your audience. I give you some examples before of how a pediatrician will do that, connecting with parents, how a gynecologist will do that, connecting with women. So you want to kind of put those themes out based on your target audience and plan your content so that you can create it regularly and consistently. And just to help you a little bit more, I would like to point out that we look at content in 6 different buckets. So this will help you basically. These are like, you can think of these as themes. These are content themes or categories, and this will help you create your content and mix it up in a great way so that you can keep your patients or your audience engaged. So the 6 buckets are: first one is personal branding. So this is really showcasing your expertise, putting your face on those posts, and highlighting your personality as well, right? So what do you like? What sports you like? Also showcasing some pictures of your family vacations or some part of your personal life, right? The patients want to see you as a person too, so that they can become comfortable with you. And there are some examples I want to point out here too. So this is one. Let me just pull that up. Just give me 1 second. So this is a post from Rajat Sachdeva, who's a maxillofacial surgeon, and he is trying to. He's posting this on LinkedIn, but he's really trying to talk about what his institute is doing, how they're committed to quality and ethical standards in dentistry, um, and what their mission is, etc., etc., and what they have done so far. Right? I mean, um, how to basically. So, and this is, I think there's some program about this institute. They're trying to basically talk about this program and asking people to enroll in it. So that is just one example here about how you want to do your personal branding, right? The next bucket here is behind the scenes. So this is also something great where you can showcase how you and your team work so hard every day in your clinic or in your office to serve your patients, right? And what is your team? Who's your team? How do you work together? There's one great example here from um, let me there you go. So this is Cutis. It's from Dr. Apratim Goyal. Let me actually switch to examples, and you can see that how this particular doctor, she's a dermatologist from Mumbai, and she has all her team members wearing the same clothes, same color, and dancing and celebrating India's Republic Day. So this is one good example where it's team building as well. Your team is feeling good about doing these things, and your patients are also getting behind the scenes kind of look into what's your team like, how do you work together, how much fun you're having, etc., etc., right? So that is the behind the scenes is also a great example to it's an important bucket that you may want to look into. The next one is patient stories. So this is a bucket where you want to share stories of your patients and their journey, and what they did, what they were suffering from, and the example here is here where this is a dentist, an orthodontist maybe, or a dentist, and here they're talking about this elderly woman and how their children have gifted her teeth or better teeth. So this is again the story. Now this is a post on Instagram. Obviously, you can now post this on Facebook and then drive that traffic over to your website where you can have a blog post talking about this patient story. So there are a lot of such ideas where you can utilize this patient stories bucket and share a lot of content with your patients. The other buckets are evergreen kind of buckets like lifestyle, health, and wellness tips, where you talk about health and wellness. And there's some examples here where this is postpartum winter care for women. And there's just some tips here: take proper rest, get a good, wholesome diet. So these are kind of evergreen things which you may want to keep posting regularly too. And that's how you can engage with your audience. The other buckets on the right hand side, there's inspirational and motivational content. So yeah, I mean, your patients are people. uh, they're going through ups and downs. You are the doctor. You want to inspire them, motivate them every now and then, right? So this is again another evergreen kind of a bucket. Education and awareness, yes, that is a great bucket as well, because you want to use social media to educate your patients on different conditions, on different chronic conditions, and how they can take care of themselves. I think there's some examples here. Let me just go to that. This is inspirational and motivational content, by the way. So women change. It's for women. Change the conversation, change the game, change the world. So some evergreen tips like that. And let me move on to awareness. So this is a post about signs of certain any kind of condition that you are into, and what are the signs and symptoms of it, and what do you do about it. Again, remember that this is a post. Now you can take the same post and write a blog and post it on Facebook, and then drive traffic to Facebook. So again, you can repurpose a lot of this content and on different platforms and format it basically, right? Formatting is important. You want to format it which suits that platform. All right. Let's just look at the other buckets. Ask the doctor. Yeah, that's another great one to encourage engagement. So maybe you can dedicate one day a week, or maybe one day in 2 weeks, whatever your schedule permits, where you can post and you can just be open and that particular day, where anyone can ask you questions and you can answer them, right? So there's an example here where we can this is a great way to open up dialogue basically, right? Ask the doctor. And you can this is your patients can type something in the comments, and that's how they can engage with you. And then the last bucket here in your content buckets is call to action. So really, if you go to see here, right, the call to action bucket is really, the way I look at it, is it's really the last bucket here, because see, social media, right, it's not a platform where you want to sell things. I mean, yes, eventually you're doing all these things, so people will take some action, like book a consultation with you and come in for treatment. But if every post that you do, you have this at the bottom where it says call this number to book an appointment, or click here to book an appointment, it just becomes very pushy. So you really have to mix all these different kind of buckets, and then once you're doing all these things, now they are building this relationship with you. So now you can mix the call to action post along with that as well. So that is the idea here. So this is a lot of things to do, right? I mean, there's a poll question here. Actually, let me just go to the slide before. I just skipped a few of them. Yes, this is a great example too, where this is the call to action example actually. So here you have just some Black Friday sale, I guess. This looks actually pretty cool on the actual Instagram, because you can see all those animations. Maybe you can just pull it out on Instagram, right, where there's this sale thing just keeps running, special offer, Black Friday, etc., etc., and then you get your teeth whitening, sealants, and tooth diamonds. So yes, you want to do these kind of things. You want to give some special offers. You want to give call to actions like book consultations or free consultations. But the whole idea is mix it up, right? Mix it up with other content. Perfect. There's another poll here. My team is going to help put this poll up. How often do you post on social media? That's the question. So really, what is the magic formula, right? That is the question that people are asking, right? How often should you post, and what should you post? Now we just kind of talked about what you should post, right? Remember those 8 content buckets. You want to mix it up, and you want to create content for many of those buckets. And now you have your content. Now how do you want to post? I mean, really the rule is consistency is important. You want to post consistently on a regular schedule. So let's say, for example, this is an example slide here where You can say that, okay, on Mondays I'm going to do motivational Mondays, so motivational tips. Tipsy Tuesdays, Ask Me Anything Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, Fun Fact Fridays, Shout Out Saturdays, Self Care Sundays. So let's say this is an example of a schedule. So if you kind of have this schedule in mind, now what this does is this makes sure that you keep honest with mixing up all your content and also being consistent in your posts. And the last part on this whole strategy, social media strategy, is yes, so you created your posts, you have your schedule. Now you need to measure. You need to measure what's working, what's not working. And a lot of these platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of them actually, right? All of them give you tools with insights. So it will tell you, what is your reach of that post, how many people engaged with those posts. Some of them also tell you your demographic breakdown. So let's say on LinkedIn, you may be able to see who are those people who are engaging with your post, or who are those people who are following your page. Yeah, followers, right? That's another metric that you can track. And I'm really talking about here is organic followers, right? People who followers who, if you buy followers, yeah, you're going to get like thousands of followers, but there'll be no engagement from all those people, you bought those followers. So it should be all organic, and it takes time. But if you keep doing that on a consistent basis every day, suddenly you'll realize that in 3 months, 6 months, you just have a lot of content and you have a lot of branding and a lot of followers. Another poll question, a lot of poll questions. The poll questions are just designed to make you think when you're on this live stream here. I'm hoping that you're taking advantage of this and trying to share your thoughts here. So the next poll is: do you think it's important to interact with your followers on social media? So obviously that was a precursor to the next section, where we are trying to. The next section is about how do you build and engage your audience. Yes, so you're doing all these posts, you have some followers. How do you increase those followers, and how do you engage with your followers, right? So really, there are some points to keep in mind when these are the kind of the best practices when you're engaging with patients. Respond promptly. So if you get a comment or a message, you want to make sure that you're responding to it in a reasonable time. You want to pay attention to both positive and negative feedback. I mean, let me be honest here, right? I mean, negative feedback is inevitable. Any of these open platforms like that, people are going to talk good about you. Some people are going to say something bad. When you get a negative feedback, you need to kind of pay more attention to it and really respond in a more polite way. And really, there are some tips of handling negative feedback too. You go to acknowledge whatever the comment is. You want to show empathy. So you want to put yourself in their shoes and show that you understand where they're coming from. You may want to ask them more details of what was the situation and what could have gone wrong. And maybe you're going to offer them a solution or some kind of a resolution or some remedy to whatever they're complaining about, right? And this is kind of very, you'll see a lot of this negative feedback coming on Google reviews sometimes, on Facebook reviews or recommendations. So yes, it's important to engage with negative feedback as well. It's very, very important. The other thing is, other tips are best practices wise is to provide helpful information and answers. You want to ask meaningful questions to encourage conversation. So exactly, right? So when you're posting, you want to ask them questions to your audience, and you want to show appreciation for followers who engage with your content. Because if someone says something, puts a comment, and they want you to respond, it's not a one-way street. Social media is a two-way street, or multiple-way street, right? Where if you're posting something and they are commenting on it or engaging with it, and you don't say something, you don't appreciate that. It's a two-way thing. It's a social thing, right? You need to kind of, it's a two-way thing. So you have to remember to engage with them by showing appreciation, right? The next one is, let me just change the slide here. So these are really same thing. How to build a loyal following and how to increase engagement. There are some four different ways you want to look at it. You want to create one. Number one is you want to create a sense of community. So this is a community that you're building, right? It's a social community where people are following you, and you want to offer them something exclusive with your Q&As, with your team members and other practitioners, showing them behind the scenes, again the same thing, footage of your practice, and even maybe have some events, virtual events for them, and kind of support them as your community. You may want to offer, the second point is you may want to offer rewards and loyalty programs. So yes, I mean, patients or your patrons who are with you for whatever months and years, you can always show them appreciation by giving them some exclusive discounts or some offering them some free services or products. The next ones are provide exclusive content. And then the last one is create content that encourages conversation. So these are just some strategies that I wanted to put in front of you so that you can think about, how you may want to increase the engagement and build that loyalty. This is an example of, asking people questions. Are BBLs going out of style? So you can see this is a clever way where there is a yes and no button there. And it's a quick way to reply, and then that encourages your followers to kind of engage with this post. We have kind of covered this. This is just same thing, how to handle negative feedback, acknowledge the comment, show sympathy or empathy, ask for more details and offer a solution. So this talks about that. So that covers 4 sections. The next one is advertising on social media. So I really wanted to put this section in here because I wanted to make sure that everyone understands that social media, whatever we talked about so far, that is all organic, right? That is all free to post on all platforms and growing organically. Now, obviously, that's not the only thing you could do there, obviously, right? You can run ads on social media too. So this section is going to cover basically how you can run ads. So you can pay money to Facebook or YouTube and promote your posts or promote your content by running ads. So there are 2 ways on Facebook. Let's just try an example of a Facebook platform where there are 2 ways where you can run ads. One is you can actually boost your existing posts. So let's say there's a post which is doing well, and now you want to really make it do even extremely well. Now you can add some money to it and boost it, and you can boost it to your target audience. So it gives you that setting where you can target the boost to your audience. And then there is another way to kind of run ads is the more full-fledged ad managers platform, where you can create campaigns and define your goals, whatever the goals again are going to be. Like, you want to do branding, you want to increase traffic, you want to get leads. So you can run ads as well with that goal. So there are 2 ways you can run ads on Facebook or social platforms. And this is an example where there is some post here or an ad here where this is again a dentist example, but there's some missing teeth, and there are some 0 payment plans available, all this information. This is from the UK, looks like. So you're going to get a free dental implant consultation. That's the offer. And you're trying to get those appointments booked for this consultation. So now that you know that what are the different ways you can run ads, the next thing is how do you target your ads to the right audience? So it goes back to the same thing. Actually, there's a framework here that we typically use when we are running ads. And you can see that there are two circles. Actually, there's a circle on the outside, and then there is the core part of it. So let's just talk about each of these, right? So there is this who, what, why, which is right in the center. And that is really your, that's your strategy really, or your strategic thing, right? And then on the outer circle, it is how, when, and where. That is your tactical thing. So let me just describe all of these. So who is really, again goes back to who are your target patients for this particular campaign that you're running. So for example, let's say you're running a liposuction campaign. Then you want to define who are those people who want to get into shape. Obviously, those are not those people who are looking to lose weight or they are just way too overweight. You're really targeting healthy people with a healthy lifestyle and explaining them how liposuction is going to get them into shape where there's stubborn fat and that can be removed, etc., etc. Right? So, who are your target patients? That is the who part of it. What is really, again, based on who you're targeting or based on what your product or services, who and what they're kind of related. So what here is really, the liposuction surgery that you're providing, and why is trying to really explain why they should go for this liposuction surgery, right? Because again, these are people who are healthy. They cannot get rid of the stubborn fat, and surgery is the only way to kind of get rid of those things. They want a flat abdomen, or they want to remove some fat under their arms. This is the only surgery is the only option, right? So that's why you're trying to explain to them why they need this. And once that's the who, what, why. And now if you want to focus on how, when, and where, so how is really, how are you communicating that message to them, right? So that's basically your ad copy. So that is the how part of it. That's how you're messaging them. When is not the time, but when is really what stage that patient is in their patient journey. So are they just in that awareness phase where they're kind of getting aware of this liposuction surgery? Are they progressed further, right, where they've researched it and now they kind of in that making a decision kind of phase? So based on where they are in their journey, that's the when. And then again, the how is the messaging. So the messaging changes based on their stage in the journey, right? So if they're kind of very close to making a decision, maybe a message where you give them some incentives might work to kind of convert them, right? The where part is where is the channels. So where you want to run this ad, right? You want to run it on Facebook, you want to run it on Instagram. Where is it? Which channel and what digital touch points you want to use to get attention of these leads or the patients that you're trying to convert to become your patients. So this is that framework that we use. I just thought I'd put that out for you. All right. So another poll question. This is, have you used paid advertising on social media? All right. So while you're answering that, let me go to the next section, the next part, which is, so you put some money on Facebook ads or Instagram ads. Now, the last part is you want to measure the effectiveness, right? You want to measure how many people are you reaching? So that's the impressions. How many people are actually clicking or engaging with your ad? And then the click could go to like a landing page or somewhere on your website. Then you want to track how many of those people are actually converting. So how many of them are actually coming into your clinic for a consultation? And then overall, you're really trying to capture what is the return of investment on these ads, right? Now, you need to really put some realistic expectations here, where it takes time, right, for the ads to build up and for you to get all these impressions, clicks, and conversions. So you want to look at a 3 month period, measure your success there, and measure how much is your investment in terms of how much you're spending and what is the revenue that it is generating. So ROI is important. I mean, anytime you're running ads, ROI is very important. Great. So that brings us to the last section here, where we are covering how to stay compliant with regulations. So yeah, I mean, see, look, social media has gotten a lot of there's a lot of noise in the market, in terms of how should doctors use social media. Doctors have taken that promise to serve patients for patient care. Should they really use social media, and how should they use it? And depending on where you live or what country you're practicing, the rules and regulations are different, obviously. Um, and one of the most important thing here is everyone has to follow the HIPAA guidelines, right? So when you're posting any before afters, for example, or any kind of information that you're giving out on the social platform about your patients, you got to make sure that it is under the HIPAA guidelines. You have taken all the consent from the patient, and you are masking anything that is sensitive, right? Any sensitive information, either it's on the images itself or the captions that you write. You want to make sure that you are not sharing any sensitive information, which will kind of violate any kind of HIPAA guidelines that are out there. Now, again, in general, what are the guidelines for advertising and promoting? I mean, these are really very straightforward, but do not make any form of promises or advertisements of guaranteed treatment, right? Because really, there is nothing like a guaranteed treatment. So you got to really make sure that you're not making any false promises like that. And again, you will not do that. But let's say you're engaging some marketing agency to do your marketing. You got to make sure that the marketing agency is not saying something that is wrong or incorrect, and which is not basically it's your reputation which is on the line here. The second thing is include complete and accurate information about the facts, right? So your qualifications, what your experience is, what your educational background is, and this is just very straightforward, just to make sure that nobody is misrepresenting you in any form or any way. And avoid, generally speaking, avoid making any claims about treatments or drugs that are not scientifically proven. Now in the plastic surgeons world, or in many other specialties, right? I mean, there will be some experimental things. You may call it. It's not really experimental. Like, for example, PRP. I mean, PRP is probably it's not yet FDA approved, or I don't know the details about it. But basically, what I'm talking about here is something that is not approved by FDA, or something that is not. But people have seen benefits of it. Yes, you can still use it, but you want to educate your patients about, have all those disclaimers, educate the patients about all the facts there, right? So that is how that those are the guidelines that you must follow as a doctor. Um, if you are in India, I will cover some of the local issues in India. I mean, we all know that MCI has been dissolved, and for good reasons, right? I mean, there's apparently there was a lot of this corruption, and there's a lot of this other lack of transparency and issues like that with MCI. So there's this new commission that is in place, which is the National Medical Commission, and I think and it just kind of released a new guideline for doctors in India, right? And what are the key principles that we have seen from this NMC's guidelines, as they may apply to social media? Are what they're saying is the use of social media should be guided by a broader principle of medical ethics. So yes, you got to make sure that you are ethically correct, ethically right, and when you use social media, it should follow that principle. You should, as a doctor, you should distinguish between telemedicine and social media, because these are two different things, right? Telemedicine means you are really interacting with a patient, and the patient is sharing information with you, and you're treating that patient. Now, don't try to just put that in on your social media, right? Because that might violate a lot of other regulations. And the other important thing is all communication should be truthful, respectful, and professional. So really, that is what it says. It's not really saying that doctors should not use social media. And I can share more information on these guidelines to people who are joining from India. So if you need any more information, right? Part three, in terms of compliance, is again, yes, very straightforward. Avoid ethical pitfalls and maintain professionalism. So basically, again, your online presence, you're doing all this online presence to basically create your brand and to kind of create that community. But if you got to be careful and cautious, you use all these channels very judiciously and with a lot of caution, because you don't want the same thing that you have grown to hurt you, right? Because it really reflects upon your practice and your brand, whatever you have built. So that is really it in terms of all the sections. I'm just going to quickly look at the chat to see to answer any questions that we may have. Okay, let's see. All right, there's a lot of polls. Okay, I think there are a lot of questions coming here. I think my team is going to help me moderate that. So while we are doing that, let me just go ahead and go through the conclusion, and then we can come back to this. All right. Perfect. So let's just recap everything that we just kind of went through, and what are the key takeaways, right? So what I really want to say here is to all the doctors who have joined today, take advantage of the opportunities that social media has to offer. Of course, you got to carefully choose the right platform, and create content which fits into that platform, and then stay compliant. And really, what are the action steps here is you need to set goals. You need to set goals for your social media strategy to create an effective plan. You need to pick all these social media platforms and cultivate those relationships, monitor your metrics, implement. So again, all this is a lot of work, right? A lot of work. So the biggest problem that doctors have is time. Time is not on their side. They are busy, they're on call, and their focus is really to provide patient care. So doctors, you got to think about, you need to delegate a lot of these tasks either to an agency, or you could use some automation tools which will help you streamline the process, and a lot of these tedious manual tasks that you may have to do, it'll automate a lot of that. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later today. All right. And then just to cover about future trends, again, personalization is trending a lot. Visuals, videos, interaction, that is all important. And I think with all these things that are happening, the privacy regulations and all this compliance, all these policies, they will keep evolving and changing. So you got to keep a watch on all these things so that you can win this social media battle, right? Cool. I'm going to go through the chat now and see what questions have come up. Right? Perfect. My team is just helping with some questions, so that's great. So we have a question from Harsh Agrawal. He's saying, I have a second thought. If you engage and post regularly, then I will not have time for practice. Exactly. So that's what I just spoke about. Yes, this is a lot of work. So I'm going to show you at the end of this. I'm going to show you some of the ways where you can utilize automation. You can utilize some tools. So Dr. Harsh, thanks for the question. Um, and let's see if there's something else. Yeah, I think a lot of people have interacted with the poll. So that's great. Okay, great. So I think this was really, I think everybody's question is about time because I think they have just seen everything. So let me just jump in and show you some of the tools that we are just we are just opening up today for. So everyone who's registered for this masterclass, you will, if you go into the platform, you're going to see a masterclass tab, but then you're also going to see a social media tab, and I'm going to walk you through what you can do with that social media tab in your platform on your Marketing Doctor platform. Once you register, you logged in, you will see all those things. So we have this product which we are introducing. It's called the Social Media Copilot. Now, what this does is basically you have to answer a few questions in terms of what your specialty is, and you also kind of have an option to upload your logo so that we understand what are your branding colors, etc. And that's it, right? What our product does is it is going to create a lot of this content for you, which is customized to your practice, which is matched to the designs of your colors and your brands. And it's going to show you a full month's calendar, just like, I have it on the screen here. And now this is still a co-pilot, right? So what I mean by that is, yes, we are creating this content using our content library, using some AI kind of technologies like similar to Chat GPT, and then we are customizing those for your practice. Now you have the ability to basically review all of these posts and change something if you don't like it, approve it, and just with one click you can post it. So really the goal of this product is to give you all this content which uses your data, which uses some of the data from the content library, some of that is AI, and to build these posts for you. It can be configured, so you can build like 10 posts a month, you can build 20 posts a month, or you can build 30 posts a month if you want to post every day. And it's using all these 8 content buckets that I talked about. So this way, you get this full calendar, and now you have to just review it, and in less than 20 minutes you can review it, make any changes, approve it, and done. So I want to encourage everyone who's joined, who's not already using our social media product. I would like them to try this out. If you can just log into the same link that you registered. You will see a social media tab there, and when you click on it, it will just guide you through all the process. And if you're having any issues with any of those things, please get back to us, write us an email, and or contact us on the phone, and we'll be able to help you. Any other questions? I think time was the. I don't have time for doing this. This is the main question. All right, great. Cool. So as I said before, this is the first masterclass in the series, and we do have two more masterclasses coming up. The masterclasses are every Sunday. It's 8:30 morning in the US, 6 p.m. in India. And then the next one that is coming is about marketing automation. Again, we are going to talk about how you can automate practically every interaction that you're doing with your patients digitally. So if you're sending them an email, sending them a text, sending them a WhatsApp, sending them a form to fill, any kind of digital interaction that you're doing, how you can automate all of that and get back all that time for yourself, so you can use that in patient care and the things that are more important. If you have already registered, that's great. If you have not, register for this class. It's next Sunday, April 2nd. And I'm very excited about it. There's another class coming up on April 9th, which is more on patient management and patient marketing. Great. All right. Let me just see if there are any other questions. Okay, there's some questions about how much all this costs. So if you go to our website, there is a pricing page there, and there are these basic packages. We also do custom work for you, but the whole idea is we want to bring these solutions to doctors so that they can run their practice in a more automated fashion and at affordable costs. So yes, Doctor, you've been a great client for us. This is you can check out the costs on the website, and obviously we'll give you a call back and we'll talk about this as well. Any other questions, Shruti? All right. I think great. Sounds good. So I guess then, if there are no more questions, this is really it for today. And I'm really excited to see you guys again next Sunday. Again, as I said, reach out to us if you have any kind of questions, and we'll be more than happy to address them. All right. Thank you.